Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight in Nigeria, tensions spike in Lagos as communities struggle under coronavirus restrictions. Authorities have now made wearing masks compulsory in the megacity. Also, citizen journalists in Ivory Coast work on making sure that people get the right message via WhatsApp. A new collective is recording shows that try to debunk coronavirus myths by using the same platform that's often used to spread them. And a Ramadan like no other. We head to Senegal as Muslims across the continent head into the holy month without some of the central elements of the sacred weeks. Community gatherings are banned and families are breaking the fast alone. But first, dozens of construction workers in Lagos were arrested on Monday after they rioted against coronavirus lockdown measures in Africa's biggest city. People there have had to stay at home since the end of last month. Without work, many are finding it increasingly difficult to get by. Lagos accounts for over half of Nigeria's officially registered 1,182 Covid-19 cases and 35 deaths. Authorities have now made wearing masks compulsory in Lagos.
It's good news for all those who sell masks in Lagos. The authorities there have announced that wearing masks is now compulsory. Nigeria's biggest city has been on lockdown since March the 30th, even though some streets appeared quite busy on Monday.
Even before the coronavirus, for someone like me, I like putting on the mask to prevent dust from entering into my system. But now that they now say the coronavirus is everywhere, and we believe that wearing face mask will protect it to a distance. It's a good idea.
In the poorest districts of Lagos, the Red Cross is distributing relief packages. Each box contains enough food for a family of 6 for 1 week. The lockdown is particularly painful for all those who used to rely on daily earnings.
It's not been easy to be at home for the past 5 weeks. Staying indoors, you are bored, and there is no money. The little you have gotten, you have spent on food. There is no income. The children in the house. In short, it's been difficult.
The lockdown in Lagos is taking place during Ramadan. About half of the nation's nearly 200 million inhabitants are Muslims. This time round, large gatherings are banned.
Usually, if not for the prevailing circumstance in which the pandemic is ravaging the entire universe now, we are usually in a large group sharing days or any fruit with which to break the fast.
In some states, governors have lifted restrictions on Friday prayers, but they have done so against the advice of public health officials.
Well, on Monday evening, President Muhammadu Buhari announced that Kano State in Nigeria would go into full lockdown for 2 weeks because of coronavirus. However, a phased easing of restrictions would be brought in for Lagos, Abuja and Ogun State from May the 4th. Well, in other news, more than 200 Cuban doctors have arrived in South Africa to help fight the spread of Covid-19. They'll spend 2 weeks in quarantine before heading out to work. Pretoria asked the Cuban government for the assistance. The Caribbean nation is sending more than 1,000 medics abroad to help 22 other countries, including Togo, Cape Verde and Angola. With over 4,500 cases, South Africa has the highest number of coronavirus infections on the continent. As the country celebrated Freedom Day on Monday in commemoration of the first anti-apartheid elections held in 1994, health workers were ramping up coronavirus screenings in parts of Johannesburg. Campaigning for presidential elections began in Burundi on Monday. Authorities are pushing ahead despite the risks of the coronavirus pandemic. There have been 15 cases and 1 official death logged in the country, although there are concerns that there has been minimal screening for infections. The election will choose a successor to President Pierre Nkurunziza. There fears it will lead to more rights abuses. Rights groups have accused the ruling party and security forces of killing dozens of opposition supporters. Extremists allied to Islamic State have executed a Chadian soldier. A video of the murder was released as ISWAP jihadists rejected President Idris Deby's claim that the group had been forced out of the Lake Chad region. Chadian military has confirmed that the victim was a soldier who had been missing after being seized in an ambush on April 18th. A Ugandan court ordered that an ally of opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine be taken straight to hospital when he was stretchered in to be charged on Monday. Francis Zake is a lawmaker who was arrested by police on April 19th for allegedly committing a negligent act likely to spread an infection of disease. His supporters, though, say that he'd just been handing out food to people struggling to get by under coronavirus lockdowns. Wine accuses police of having tortured and blinded Zake. Now, in Ivory Coast, a new radio show is taking on fake news via WhatsApp. Set up following the outbreak of coronavirus, its subscribers have the news sent straight to their phones every evening on the very same social network where rumours usually run riot. Sam Bradpeace and Thais Pug sent us this report.
Abraham usually works as a teacher here in Abidjan, but since schools closed in mid-March, he's turned his efforts to citizen journalism.
Alors, excusez-nous, nous sommes en reportage par rapport à une radio.
Abraham is out reporting a story on the country's booming mask market.
Est-ce que la population s'intéresse vraiment aux masques et aux gels? Est-ce que ça va?
Bien sûr, par rapport à la peur. Par rapport à la peur, je dis. Parce que quand on dit quelque chose, qu'il y a le virus, le coronavirus, personne qui a peur, l'achète.
Parts of the interview will be broadcast later on WA FM, a new online radio platform that aims to fight fake news about the Covid-19 pandemic.
There is a lot of paranoia surrounding this illness. Our role as informers, as news professionals, is to verify information before passing it on.
Fake news has already been destructive here, and many recognise the urgent need for accurate information.
There was a testing centre being built in Yopougon, but fake news circulated saying that it would welcome people infected by coronavirus. So some residents destroyed everything. In reality, it was just a testing centre.
WA FM, le journal.
The station was launched in March and is operated by 600 volunteer journalists.
Bonjour à toutes et bonjour à tous. Nous sommes le mardi 21 avril 2020. Vous écoutez WA FM, votre web radio d'information.
WA FM is broadcast via the WhatsApp messaging app.
WhatsApp is a form of media. Fake news circulates freely. One of the aims of our web radio station is to really tackle the fake news there. That is why our reporters go on the ground and then broadcast on WhatsApp.
WA FM already has close to 5,000 listeners and hopes to become a truly pan-African platform for responsible journalism.
As Muslims across the continent head into the holy month of Ramadan without some of the central elements of the sacred weeks, community gatherings are banned and families are breaking the fast alone. Our correspondent sent us this report from Senegal.
Seynabou Diop's out making some last-minute purchases at her local market in Parcelles Assainies, a working-class neighbourhood of Dakar. To break the fast, the housewives plan to prepare the national dish made with rice and fish. Shopping offers a little respite from worrying about the global health pandemic.
Je suis venue faire mes courses aujourd'hui pour préparer du tchéboudjan accompagné de sauce tomate avec des boulettes pour la rupture du jeûne. Je veux que toute la famille soit heureuse aujourd'hui.
The government ordered the population to avoid gatherings and follow social distancing rules, directives that have gone ignored. Despite the spread of coronavirus, this grocery store was cleaned out by Ramadan shoppers at the beginning of the day.
Oui, ça marche bien kay. Clients yi ñu ngi ñëw par ndànk-ndànk vraiment wax dëgg yàlla affaire yi mu ngi dox ndànk-ndànk daanaka tàndaram lu ñu si wàccee woon daanaka jeex na nen yi ñu ngi tamit ñu ngi dem macha allah bisaab bi ak gerte raisin yëpp macha allah daal mu ngi dem ndànk-ndànk daal.
Just before sunset, Seynabou is at home preparing the family's iftar meal. This year they'll celebrate just amongst themselves due to the curfew.
À cause de la pandémie, on a arrêté les invitations, les contacts, les va-et-vient. On a tout arrêté. Parce qu'on n'a pas le choix. Mais c'est obligatoire.
No gatherings mean no collective prayers either. The doors of the Great Mosque of Dakar will remain closed, a decision taken by the Association of Imams of the country.
Nous avons un pincement au cœur parce que quand la mosquée est vide, ça n'a plus de sens.
Senegal's religious leaders stood their ground and resisted the pressure from some faithful who wanted to reopen the mosque during Ramadan.
Mon message aux fidèles, c'est de respecter les gestes barrières qui nous sont recommandés par les techniciens de la santé et de garder notre sérénité en faisant des prières d'invocation à Dieu pour que cette maladie nous quitte et que nous puissions reprendre nos bonnes habitudes et nos bonnes façons de faire.
The nationwide curfew and ban on public gatherings will remain in force until further notice.
Well, that's it for Eye on Africa. Thanks for joining us. Do so again if you can. Take care.